As actors, we get to rely on scripts to tell us what to do.
Like when to slap someone across the face and when to let someone slap you.
But we don't need a script to tell us to help someone in need.
The SAG Foundation was founded to do just that, to help performers with life's unscripted moments and to give back to our communities.
Over the past decade, the SAG Foundation has given millions in financial and medical assistance to SAG-AFTRA performers and their families.
Last year, more than 25,000 union performers attended over 500 SAG Foundation Q&As, seminars, and workshops.
And SAG Foundation Book Pals read to over 60,000 children in schools every month nationwide.
Do you know how much SAG-AFTRA members pay for all these resources and programs? Zero.
Zero.
Zilch.
Nada.
Do you know how much of our union dues go to the SAG Foundation? Zero.
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 The SAG Foundation is a nonprofit that relies solely on donations, so it is vital that those who are able to help give what they can.
And you've been giving since the SAG Foundation was founded in 1985.
I love 1985.
Out of Africa.
The Color Purple. The Goonies.
The Cosby Show.
Family Ties.
The Golden Girls.
What?
So many truly fantastic performances since then.
We have a wonderful history and a beautiful tradition of being there for one another. If you need help, it's here for you.
And if you can help, please give.
Like every great production, we are at our best when we all act
Together.
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 So please, act now.
So again, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for everyone that's watching on the live stream. We're so glad that you're here. One thing that I forgot to announce, they're making their way on up, is at the end of the evening, we're gonna have you guys stay in your seat for a moment so our panelists can slip on out. And not everyone just kind of bombard them because that's not fun for anybody. So just at the end of the evening, take a seat for a moment, fill out those surveys, they're gonna slip on out and then we can move on with the rest of the evening. Last thing I'm gonna say is for those who don't know, we are trying to be social media conscious. So like I said, we're on Twitter and Facebook. The big thing is youtube.com/SAG Foundation. We have over 4.5 years of archived LifeRaft events. Say cheese, that's awesome. And conversations, 2-hour Q&As, a wealth of free educational information. And the biggest thing we ask is that you not only watch, but you subscribe and share because we want every actor to know about it and every actor to use it. We were just talking about it with the agents in the green room. They're like, we got to send this to our clients. They were just discovered it as I was sending it to them. So please, please watch and share. We're going to start the evening with the panelists just going down and introducing themselves and saying hi and who they are, and then we'll jump right into it. So you want to start, Robin?
Okay, hi, I'm Robin Harrington. I'm the owner and founder of Lemon Lime Agency.
Hi, I'm Gloria Hinojosa with Amstel Eisenstadt Fraser and Hinojosa.
I'm Stuart K. Robinson, and I'm the CEO and partner of Brady Brannon and Rich.
Hi. Give you a moment. I'm Janet Shaw with Arlene Thornton and Associates.
And I think we should give them all one big round of applause. Thank you for coming out. So we're going to jump right into it, and we'll start with Robin, and then we'll see what else anybody else has to say about this question. Actors are always kind of concerned about booking rates, booking ratios, trying to figure out how much they should be either booking or getting called back. What is your perspective at Lemon Line about that topic?
Well, honestly, it's not like I sit at my desk and I don't run the numbers, like counting up how many auditions, how many callbacks, how many bookings you guys get. If I see that you're present all the time on my auditions, and I see that you're getting callbacks, that's kind of, where I want you to be. I mean, all you can really do as the actor is get the callback and get the avail. Booking it is a whole nother story, what goes into that. So.
Any other perspective on that, guys?
Hello. I also think it depends on what kind of client it is. If it's somebody who's just a 25, 35 comedy guy who is just, more prevalent out there. But if you're like it just depends what kind of type you are as well. I don't expect someone who's a character actor doesn't get out as much as a comedy guy to, have the same ratio. But, just like Robin said, we just, want callbacks, and the avails would be nice. Bookings would be great.
Okay. If a client, and we'll start this with Gloria, if a client has a time conflict for a theatrical audition and a commercial audition, How has that worked out? Do you try to keep the theatrical and rearrange the commercial? How's that conversation happen?
Well, it depends if the commercial is their callback and the theatrical is a pre-read. We try to accommodate as much as we can. With the commercial, there's usually a time window, so we can work it out. It usually isn't a conflict at all, so we try to accommodate.
Great. Stuart, can you, and this is, I want to hear actually from everyone with this one, so Stuart, you can go first. And then, what is a typical rundown? What does a day look like for you, for the agent's office? Do you have certain things you do in the morning, certain things you do in the afternoon? How does it run for you?
Every day is unique unto itself, but there are certain elements that are common. At BBR, we have a staff meeting early in the morning just so we can all get on the same page and discuss events from the day and new things in the business, et cetera. And then, a lot of the day is handling breakdowns as they come in. But a greater part of the day is meeting new potential actors. We have an open door policy, so our clients drop in and we meet with them and say hello. We make calls, we establish relationships with casting, we have staff meetings again, so it's just a nonstop barrage of stuff from 9:25 in the morning till usually 7:30 at night.
Anybody else, any other things you specifically do at certain times of the day? Is breakdowns always in the morning? What does days look like for you guys?
Well, breakdowns are all day, and breakdowns are definitely the priority because the sooner we submit, the more likely we are that our clients are going to be seen. So that's always top priority, is submitting as quickly as possible. But yeah, it's just basically all day. You just don't know what's going to happen. You could get a booking. It's a non-union. There's a model's release that's from hell. So, you kind of just have to go with what's happening. But obviously in the morning, we want to get on those breakdowns right away. And now with LA Casting and Casting Frontier, we can do these from home. So I may get up and at 8 a.m. I'm still, I just got out of the shower in my towel, I'm doing a few breakdowns. Okay, now let me go put my makeup on. Oh, a couple more breakdowns. So, with the technology these days, it's pretty flexible, but definitely the breakdowns are top priority.
The breakdowns are nonstop, and I don't know if you guys are aware, when we're calling you and leaving you messages, well, I do, at 7 in the morning that you have a 10:30 a.m., it's not because we wanted to prevent and hold you from that. It's because that's when we got the actual audition. I can check at midnight before I go to bed, and there will be an audition that popped up. Now it's 24/7. There will be a new breakdown at 2:30 in the morning. So we're constantly, it's more of a 24/7 than it ever has been.
Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with an actor's manager. Is the idea of double submitting, a manager also having access to those breakdowns and submitting, has that ever been an issue? Is that a conversation you have? How does that work with your audience and in relationship with managers?
I have a story. Managers are great. They run the gamut. It just depends on who the manager is. But talk about double submitting, we had a big issue a couple of months ago with a client who, commercials happen so fast. I guess he went on a callback. I wasn't aware of the callback situation. I got a call about an avail literally at maybe 9:30 that night. The next morning I started thinking about it and I was like, that's odd, because we double, triple check conflicts. The first audition, the second audition, avails, just can't, you can't check enough with conflicts. So in the morning I got in the office, I was like, that's weird, I thought he had a fast food conflict, but it must have died if he's already on avail for it. My assistant must have checked 3 times already. So then I realized his manager sent him and he booked the job. And I was like, oh no, he has a conflict. So that's like the agent's worst nightmare. So, I had to call the casting director and say, so sorry, I accepted the avail, but it was at 10 o'clock at night. And, I kind of thought about it as I was going to bed, and I was like, just double check in the morning. And it turns out, he couldn't do it. So we had to pull him out of the job, and it was a big mess. The casting director had to recast. And, we had to apologize profusely because it, slipped under our radar because of the manager. And, I appreciate everyone trying to get work, and, we're as eager beaver as anybody. But, with commercials, there are certain things with conflicts that you have to be really careful about, or we could be in a lawsuit. So that's something that you don't want to deal with, and it happens. So got to be really careful with that. Because managers don't have the same accounting system as we do. We know every 13 weeks you get a holding fee, or, you know, there's internet spot running or, you know, little things that can change pretty much every day. So you just got to be really careful with that. And managers don't tend to think as, you know, as much as the conflicts, and they don't have the accounting system we have access to. So it's, you know, got to be careful.
Yeah, and can I just jump in on the conflicts? Is also, as actors, you guys really need to be aware as well. Obviously, we have really great accounting systems that track these things, but I mean, sometimes you may have booked some little internet or app for an iPhone like 2 years ago on your own, and oops, guess what? You signed a release that was in perpetuity. Well, guess what? There's certain technology companies that will not hire you. So we need the actors' help as well to be really aware. If you do have a callback for something and you think that maybe it's possible at some time in your life you did something for this company that might conflict, you've got to let your agent know, because the lawsuits do happen. So really do your part as well.
And we're there to protect you, not to prevent you from having a job. Obviously, we want to make an income as well. So it's not that it's bottom for us as agents. We take that responsibility seriously, is to protect our clients from a lawsuit.
I have to jump into this, Dennis. And I apologize in advance. I tend to have strong opposite opinions of things. I don't have an opposite of them, but in order to really answer this question so that it helps you, we have to be really honest. A lot of you have managers, but you don't really have managers.
Oh, snap.
You have...
It's true.
You know what I mean? You have little agents. You have people who submit you. And the honest truth is, honestly, the definition is an agent does two things. You know what those two things are? Get you auditions, negotiate contracts. A manager, a real manager, does everything else. Build your career, make sure you're in the right classes, introduce you to the right people, set up showcases for you, get you in development at places, all of those things, and make sure your bills get paid and all of that. If I were your manager, I'd be looking at those things rather than checking the breakdowns to see if I can get you an audition for a Tide commercial, because you have an agent to do that. So if you, and I understand why many of us have little agents on the side, because you're saying, I take every audition I can get. But the truth is, when that double conflict thing happens, it's because you have a real agent and you have a other agent, which is not a bad thing. But if you have those two things, they should be on the same team. There should already be communication between them, and the manager shouldn't be undermining the agent, and the agent shouldn't be undermining the manager. But ultimately, what I aspire to for all of you is that you have an agent who is so good and so comprehensive that you're not worried about someone else getting you auditions. And then you have a manager to take care of everything else, to make sure that you become the star and the earner that you got into this business to be. So there shouldn't be any conflict, in my book. It gets worse, so don't get optimistic.
I love it.
We're just getting started. We're going to start with Janet, but this again is a question for all the panelists. If I had a group of casting directors up here and I asked them in about 5, 4, 6 words to describe your agency, what do you think they would say?
Ooh. We're a boutique. Arlene likes to say we're the nice agency, but she can get Sicilian pretty fast. I think she's been around for 27 years with her agency, so, you know, pretty established. And I think we're cool. I like to say we're cool. I think that sums it up. Successful. I like that one.
This is for everyone, so Stuart.
Blue, keep me honest on this. I think that BBR would want to be described, if it was 5 words, as reliable, tasteful, problem solvers who love actors.
Great. Gloria?
I'm supposed to follow that?
Does that work? For the camera, Blue's give me a thumbs up out there.
We got a family. Yeah, they're like, everyone's family.
Yes. One more word. Well, and between the 3 partners, we have I hate to say it, but like 110 years experience in the industry. So I'm going to say experienced. Thank you for keeping me honest. I'm sorry, Gloria.
That's okay, but I don't think I can do mine in 5. We're reputable, dependable, hard workers, have excellent taste, and have strong working actors, a strong acting pool. And we've been around for over 40 years. So I think that most everyone knows who we are and what we stand for, and that they can count on us, and that we're not going to try to do funny business, meaning try to push people in that aren't supposed to be in there, or try to book somebody in who has a conflict, those kinds of things. We work with the buyers as well as our actors to make all of our lives easier.
Okie dokie. Lemon lime talent with a twist. Innovative, trend-setting, reliable, hard-working. Did I say innovators? Okay. How many is that? 5. Reliable, I said. Did I say reliable?
Yeah.
Innovative, trend-setting, hard-working, reliable. People who think outside the box.
We'll put that one in quotes. There you go. We'll make that one. So what 2, and I'll let you, if there's more than 2, I'll let you break the mold here, but maybe what are 2 main professional issues that you feel like need to be in-person conversations with clients? Stuff you wouldn't talk, beyond email, this is something that we need to talk over the phone, or even, I would even say not even on the phone, but we need to have a sit-down conversation about. What are maybe some of those things that you would need to have a sit-down conversation with clients about?
I'll start. I don't talk by email with my clients. We're a family, so we want to talk about everything. At our agency, we get mad if our actors don't drop in often enough. So what would there be that I would want to talk to you about by email? I want to hear what's going on with you. So they either call or they come by and we talk. So I would say everything, because how can I sell the product if I don't know what's going on with the product, if I don't know what your hopes and dreams are, if I don't know that you've taken a new class or that you've cut your hair or you've done a new thing with your look in general. So everything we want to talk in person about. Now, we can't talk with everybody for an hour a day, but usually when we have a relationship, we can check in a minute or 2, and then we know what's going on with each other. So I use email, but there's nothing I need to discuss with you by email. I'd rather see you. And if I were you, I wouldn't send emails. How could an email, some words you printed on a screen, ever compare to your face and what happens when you express things? You don't want to communicate with your agent by print. You want to communicate with this. So don't use email and don't send notes, because words you email can be misconstrued really easily. We think, oh, so-and-so's got an attitude. You don't have an attitude. And if you have an attitude, come in and have the guts to come in person and go like this.
Okay, well, I definitely have to jump in with the opposite, not the opposite opinion. I love to know my clients. I have lunch every day with one of my clients. We have several events, get-togethers, like once a month. We have a beach party every summer. I do want to get to know my clients when I'm outside and I have the time to devote to actually listen to what you're saying. When I'm at the office, I want all my focus to be on getting you auditions, booking jobs, negotiating contracts. So when I'm working, I do want to communicate by email. I do not want people calling unless it's something that they're in the car driving late to their auditions. So we need to be as efficient as possible in the office. And for me, the efficient way is via email, via LA Casting. And then let's get to know each other and party hard when we're not in the office.
I'm a combination of both. In my office, on Fridays is the day that I open up for anyone to come in and have conversations and bring me coffee, and we'll sit down and have a chat and that kind of thing. And most of my clients over the years have known that that's a good day that I set aside. The rest is me trying to, get appointments for you and negotiate. The only time I call a client to have a sit down is when it's not good, unfortunately. And I can give you an examples. I had 2 casting directors calling me and saying that do you know your client doesn't bathe? And they're coming into the mic and I can't see them anymore. And so I had to bring that client in and have a conversation. He was bathed. So, if there's a conversation that you need to have a heart-to-heart with, then that's something that's going to be done in person. And if, that's one thing I can think of right now, but there will be those kinds of conversations. Or if I never release anyone over the phone or through an email, though I have been released that way. I would never do that to anyone, and we don't hope that our relationship will go that way, but from time to time over the years it has happened, and I would bring somebody in to have that conversation. But most of the time it's a happy conversation, and they're just dropping by.
I'm a combo. Emails are good for bookouts, 'cause I can't remember, everyone's bookouts or whatnot, but, we have we have 2 voiceover booths, so we have constant people coming in and out. So I feel like I see a lot of my clients all day. And, I stalk people on Facebook. I know what's going on in their lives on Twitter. Because as commercial agents, we have to know a lot of things, like how many dogs do you have, and what kind of insurance do you have, what kind of medications do you take, do you have parents that live in town, do you have kids? I'm a combo. I mean, I like to sit and talk and, yap it up, but I like to be efficient. And if I'm in a zone doing breakdowns, no, you can be in front of me, but I won't even see you. So.
Let's talk a little bit about photos and them being online. What is your conversation with clients around number, how many? It's so easy to upload a lot, but really how many kind of do you need? And what's that kind of conversation with clients about what you need headshot-wise from them? We'll start with Gloria.
I prefer to only have 2 if they're 2 perfect pictures. And unfortunately, we're not getting them as often as we used to, where we could have the 2 pictures. 4 is my max. More than that, it confuses the buyers, I think. So I like to just have 4 great photos. And sometimes we just rotate those from the same session that you took, because the buyers get bored by seeing the same picture, and I can see that your auditions have gone down. So if we even take the same session, go back and pick up another picture that we liked from there, you pop it up, all of a sudden your auditions go back up. It's just, it's kind of a branding thing, or just flip those pictures up. But having more than the 4 usually doesn't benefit us any more than not.
Yeah, go ahead, Robin.
I would say it depends a lot on the client, what types of different looks that they have. But the photo is, you have to know, as far as I'm concerned, the most important tool, and your career can change on a dime when you change your photo, when you finally take your agent's advice to shoot with the reputable photographer. You cannot believe how quickly the number of auditions you get
My
changed.
neighbor's really good.
My friend
and I'm
takes
like,
pictures.
this is the last time I'm looking at a photo shoot that your friend took. If you can get a shot for free, a great shoot, go for it. I'm totally open to that. But if I keep looking at free shoots and each time it's horrible, you got to shoot with someone more professional.
Amen.
I would add in, when I talk about headshots, I need to preface it by saying that, so many actors don't really have a headshot that helps. They have photographs of themselves, but what a casting director is looking for is not what you look like. They're looking for some capture of your essence. So to me, it's a question of you having the answer to the real obvious question. Where is your money? There's a shot that works better for your young mom shot, and a shot that works better for your power business executive shot, and a shot that works better for your hottie in the bar shot. So I wouldn't want to submit your young mom shot when I'm thinking of you as the hottie in the bar. So it takes some knowledge of yourself to understand where your money really is And I know we all think, I can do anything. But the truth is, there's some pretty broad categories where your money really comes from. So I don't have a limit on how many pictures. I just want to say, are each of these pictures representing some serious money that you can make? You don't need a shot in every uniform, you know, fireman, and then too many dishes, and oh, a dog, you know.
Your stethoscope.
That's the old days. But there are some people in this room who are going to make a lot of money playing doctors. I don't really care what you're wearing in that photo. I care that it's a photo that a casting director is going to look at and say, trustworthy physician. So if I were you, I would be measuring the amount of photos I have by the categories in which I expect to make a lot of money and make sure that those are represented. And those other shots that are great but not really representing your money, send those to your family. You know what I mean? Get shots that represent your money. And if you don't know where your money is at this point, you need to sit down and figure it out, because that's how you're going to make a living in this business. Knowing where your money is and having evidence that you can compete in those money categories. So is it 4? Is it 2? Is it 5? Is it 6? Whatever it is, make sure that each of them are money and they don't repeat each other.
I have to agree with everyone on that one. But, I mean, we just can't reiterate enough what a great headshot can do for your career. It's, I would say, 90%. I mean, we can sit there and submit you all day, but if it's not the great shot, you know, I've seen people, you know, like they said, oh, there goes my phone, it could change, you know, your entire career, seriously. And I don't think actors, sometimes I don't think they take them serious enough. So, you know, my friend does a great shot. Great, that rose bush looks great behind you. But, you know, take a good shot. And also the old ones. I have a lot of clients with old shots from like 10 years ago, like, let's move on. You look great in that black and white shot, but take those off. And that's pretty much.
Commercial agent is hard work. So what do you love about your job?
The clients, working, the people I work with, the actors I work with, and my business partner. And I also love that everything is done online, so I can spend time working from other exotic locations.
I don't think I'd be in the business if it wasn't for my clientele. I love everyone that I work with, and it is a family, like you say. And there's something that I've always, even as, you know, at 10, when I used to look at television or go to a film, there's something about you storytellers and you characters that create a passion in me that I want to not do what you do, but I want to support what you do.
I'll agree with that. The clients. I've had clients since I was an assistant, so we've grown together. It's a nice family. Of course, I like booking. That gets me, keeps me going. But it is. I like to, we're all up here because we like to help dreams come true, and it's such a hard business, you guys, and obviously you know. So it's just nice to be able to help actors and make money and have fun doing it, hopefully.
Can you describe, someone get a call from your office or you personally saying you'd like to come in and talk to them and maybe interview potentially for being on the roster? What does your office specifically have them do? Is it interview? Do you have them read? What is the kind of protocol for your office? We'll start with Stuart and everyone will answer.
We don't have you read, and I think there's 3 reasons for that. One, we tend to know by the time you've taken a seat in the chair how much confidence, how much power, how much depth you're bringing to the room. It's all about the room, guys. It's not about the reading. It's about the room. It's about being able to bring a sense to the room that you're money. Because no matter what any agent tells you, all we're looking at you and saying 10% of this person's income is how much. Because what else would we do? Sign you because you're nice? Sign you because we like you? Sign you because you're pretty? No, we're in business to make 10% of what you make. So we want the people who are going to make a lot of money. Now, it's an unfair system because you have about, really, 30 seconds for me to go, money here. You have 30 seconds. So I don't need to see you read. And in this day and age, to be honest, if you don't have evidence of your greatness, what are you doing? Any of you who are here tonight and I say to you, oh, so where can I see some really killer work from you? If you're saying, well, I'm working on it, I'm not interested. You got to have evidence. With that iPhone that just fell to the floor, you could capture quality enough evidence so that we can see what you are capable of. So you should come armed with a link or a DVD or something like that, and then we don't have to spend time in the office reading. Because what I want to know is, are you money? And I'll know that within the first 15, 20 seconds. Am I making sense when I say that? Oh, yes. Are we answering questions you want to hear? Are we getting somewhere? Okay, good. Because that's, to me, the key. I need to know that you're money, and I can see a link of your work.
Well, I think I don't really have people read. It's usually kids, maybe. Kids I'll have read because, you know, the children just kind of want to make sure they're, you know, can read. Literally. But with adults, it's more of a personality thing, you know? Like, we already, you know, usually it's, you know, referral from a casting director or another client or a manager referral. So I obviously know that you can act and you're established somewhat. But it's more about the personality. You know, I've had clients who actually I thought was money, but I was like, you know, they're kind of obnoxious. Like, they kind of annoy me for some reason. I don't know. I don't want that representing me when they go into a casting office with, you know, this attitude. So, you know, I also like somebody who's good to work with that I feel comfortable sending into a casting office. You know, besides everything that Stuart just said. So,
yeah, I want to jump in on the money attitude thing. Definitely for me, I mean, obviously I want someone that I think is going to book. But for me, it's really, really important that the person comes across as easy to work with. That is really top priority. And as Janet was saying, how they are going to represent my agency. So I have dropped my top moneymaker from the agency because I couldn't work with him anymore. He was just a pain in the ass. And I don't own my own business to put up with. So really, we're so busy. This business is very high stress. It's very last minute. The last thing we need is for the person we are working for to give us attitude or make our job more difficult because they can't click a button and confirm an audition on LA Casting, for the love of God. So, you know, that's definitely what I'm looking for, someone who is completely easy to work with. They view this as a job, not as a means of becoming famous. It's work, just like it is for the grip, just as it is for me, just as it is for the director. It's work. And obviously someone that has potential to book jobs.
If any of you are with these guys and you're a six-figure booker and you're difficult to get along with, I'll take you on and we'll figure out a way to get along. I'm not dropping you if you make six figures a year. But if you have six figures a year, what do you have to have an attitude about? So you guys work it out. Don't give people attitude. Love what you do. You have the greatest job in the world. Why would you give your agent a hard time? So be wonderful and make money, and we'll all be happy.
Unlike the three of them, in my commercial division, we do read. If you don't have a commercial reel. I'm also part of the theatrical department and we only accept reels and that's different. We don't read in the theatrical division. But commercially, because I'm looking for a variety of things. I'm looking for what they said. What are you bringing into the room? And usually I intimidate. So it gives me I don't mean to, don't get me wrong, but it just happens that way because I'm seeing what you do in a casting office. And, you know, will the nerves get the best of you? We do a copy that is intense, has a lot of dialogue. I'm looking for people who are quick on their feet, strong with improv, able to handle a lot of this dialogue, because a lot of my actors tend to book with the theatrical type of director that happens to be doing a commercial, like a Christopher Guest type. So I do push it a little bit. It's a 10-minute, it's 2 reads, it's really quick. And then we sit down and we have a chat. And I can then get the whole package. Plus, in my head, I'm thinking of all the different ways that I can sell you. So that's the reason I'm a little more old-fashioned. It's the same copy I've been using for 20 years.
We'll start this question with Janet. I'd love to hear everyone's opinion on this as well. In the city of Los Angeles, how many actual commercial casting directors do you think cast about 90% of the commercials, number-wise? Obviously, you don't give names, but has it? Yeah. What do you think? Has it changed?
It's changed a lot from the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Even so, but I mean, I think that it used to be there were 10 who dominated when I first started, and most of them are not in the business anymore. And the ones that are, there's probably 3. And the ones that continue to work right now, there's probably 5 that get most of the work. 3 that are really getting most of the work, where it used to be spread across town. And there'll be some that still get continuous work, but they're not the bulk of it it's changed quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd say like 5 to 10 casting directors who do a big bulk of the jobs, but and then the other ones like spread out evenly. But yeah, anyone else?
Yeah, I say 5 dominate, but then there's several, like up to 10 others that are working, but definitely I think 5 dominate.
Yeah, if you're talking about 90%, that's a lot of the casting in town. So I always have actors take a test that I call the Beverly Center test. I don't know why it's called the Beverly Center test. I usually say there are 15 casting directors who control 90% of the business in town. So the Beverly Center test is if you were at the Beverly Center walking from one end to the other, and those 15 casting directors passed by you, how many of them would recognize you, call you by name, and say, wow, great commercial actor? So I would say 15 for 90% of the business, because this one works really steadily and then drops out, and then this one comes up. So I think it's 10 to 15, which means 10 to 15 people who need to know you for you to have a career, who need to know you and love your work. So you got to hook that up.
But I mean, there's like 3 in this town that if you're tight with these 3, I would say you will be working pretty steadily if you can deliver in the room.
Sure.
And they want you to deliver in the room. They want you to make their job easy. So
They usually bring the same people in over and over again.
Exactly. You're always on. If you make their list, you will continue to be on their list unless you really mess something up.
Wait, except for one of the tops, I just heard that he clears he stops bringing in the people he's been seeing, he's been seeing people for 2 years, and he stops, and he doesn't see those people for a year, and then he starts bringing them back. I just
Well, I know this. I know who you're talking about because if you book too much with him, I will notice that your auditions will also drop, and then I will have to place a phone call and say, you haven't been bringing blah, 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 blah in. Oh, she's overexposed.
We're over
And then I go, oh, do you know that she just lost 4 of her 8 commercials? Oh, okay. Yeah, have her come in for this.
In your point of view, commercially, obviously, training. Let's talk a little bit about that. What type of training do you need actors to have for you to be able to do your job?
The basics, obviously, but I think improv is so important, as everyone knows. Improv is, the new black. You've got to have it. It could be like a guy in the customer, like in the donut shop, but oh my God, it has to be like Top Groundlings, UCB, Acme, Second City, and he's just standing there with a cup of coffee. But they want improv training, and that's very, very, very important these days.
Yeah, they'll come out on a breakdown. It says, do not submit if they do not have improv training. It'll come out, specific. And they don't care if you were level 1. They just want that it says groundlings or whatever it might be. So it's very important. That's what I look for the most is your improv training and that you've taken a commercial class with a reputable either a casting director or someone who knows how to teach for commercials. It's a total different audition process than it is from your theatrical auditions.
Yes. Yes to all of the above. Definitely commercial. I don't even want someone going into the room without taking a really good commercial workshop. Just because you're driving all over town in the heat, all over to get into these auditions, and you don't have the tools, simple thing as cheat this way, or that's ridiculous. So especially even if you are a better actor, super trained theatrical actor, even more reason to take the commercial workshop. So number one for me is commercial workshop, and second is improv.
I take the fifth on this. Because there's only one good commercial workshop in town. I think you know what I mean.
You're a big man for taking the fifth, Stuart. Let's talk about the
I'll
new...
endorse his classes.
Let's talk about actors trying to meet you. How is it referral only? How is your office take submissions? What is protocol like for you in the realm of submitting and trying to get a meeting with you and your office?
I say it depends. It depends on the day, the time, the month, you know, what's going on in the world. It's usually manager referrals, casting director referrals, client referrals. I have a lot of couples, you know, my girlfriend or my wife, families. But I look at submissions as well. You never know. So it just really depends on the day.
We take mainly electronic submissions. We do look at all new submissions that are emailed to us at our new faces box. And obviously we get a lot of referrals from our clients, from casting directors, but we are in the business of discovering new talent. So we do definitely go through the submissions, and we prefer electronic, not sending in headshots through the mail.
I agree that it depends on actually what time of the year it is and what the season is, depending on how busy the office is. There will be the opportunity for me to, I will try to go through all of the headshots that are submitted online and via mail, but sometimes time can pass if we're really intensely working for a month, and then I realize, oh my gosh, I'd look at that stack that I need to get through. But mostly it's through referral.
For me, again, it goes back to the earlier thing. You know, 85% of the submissions that we get, whether it's electronically or pictures in an envelope or whatever, are relatively useless because the picture doesn't say anything about the person, etc. So it doesn't take long opening an envelope or looking at a submission to go, there's really not anything here that I can read. So again, it falls back on you, in my mind. Any of you who submits me killer photos and great evidence of your work and a resume that says you're taking this seriously, I'll know within 5 seconds as to whether you're really a player in this game. So if in your mind you have doubts about what it is that the people up here are thinking is a killer photo, that's what you need to figure out. Because you catch great fish with good bait. You catch nothing with mediocre bait. So actors always come to me and say, I sent out to 100 agents and I got no response. That usually means what you're sending out is not compelling. So I think if you submit great materials to pretty much any reputable agency, they'll see it and they'll bring you in. So if you're really great and you have great materials, send them to me. I'm not hard to find. Online at the agency, you can communicate with me. And I know I'm not supposed to say that because we're live streaming to the world.
I mean, just on a little side note, I mean, I have gotten some submissions where I'm just like, who told you this picture looks good?
Right.
I mean, you asked your friends. I mean, I get it. You look at yourself as a whole different situation, but really, out of all the pictures you took, you think this is a good shot? So, you know, it's just, maybe you're self-delusional, I don't know, but it just kills me sometimes. I feel like sometimes you have to write them back, be like, no, like, stop it.
Right, and remember that the submission is also demonstrating your common sense. and how you're going to be to work with. So keep it very clean, very simple, and make sure your things work. If I get an email and I click on the link to your website and it doesn't download in 2 seconds, I am literally deleting it and going on to the next one. You know, we're busy, so make sure that everything's in line, that works, and is clear and simple.
You can take either side of this coin, either good or bad, but just talking about headshots, were some of the things that you saw that were like bad for a headshot, but then again, what are some of the things that you saw that were like, yeah, this was compelling? Do you have either side of that coin?
I've gotten like naked photos, okay? That would be the bad side.
The conch guy? Did everyone get the conch guy?
What?
The guy with the conch? Did you guys get that one? That was a good one.
Wait, I can't believe we didn't get that one.
That was a good one. And he had a really good Tumblr thing about it. He was just naked with the conch. I loved it.
I don't know, maybe my assistant got it.
I usually wouldn't go for it, but I was like, wow, this is actually pretty compelling. So you never know, but I wouldn't recommend sending naked pictures.
So our advice is get a conch.
And send it to
Make a
Jen.
really funny Tumblr feed, and you're done.
Add a pet.
Yeah. Puppies always
A
work.
monkey.
I mean, but literally, the submission process is not the time to be quirky and funny and show how funny and creative you are. That's not the time to do that. It's the time to get down to business, simple, clear, open this, it's done, you can see what I do, and finish.
Any compelling things that you saw in headshots? Anything that, is it personality? Can you tell, like you said, is it, I trust that lawyer, or is it that I want to have a beer with that guy? Is that the stuff that makes you go, yes?
Yeah, for me, any real thought that I can read in the eyes of the photo is a quality photo. Whoever it is in the world who's telling you that this is a smile, I am not smiling at you right now. I am just lifting my upper lip and showing my teeth. So don't send me a picture of you looking at the camera going like this. That is not a smile. So my dog does that if you give her kibble. I'm not like, oh, sign her. She should do commercials. So a photograph is a photograph of your essence, of your quality. So if you don't have photos that capture a thought, a meaningful moment, how will I know if you're an actor who can capture 900 frames of meaningful moments? So the idea is you want your photo to be one of those 900 frames that would make up a television commercial and have a serious impact and a thought. So to me, that's a great photo, and a photo that looks like you with teeth showing is not. And this is not true that this is your commercial and this is your theatrical.
It has to have the quality, I'm sorry. It has to take the quality that if in the old days when you had a headshot, that it makes me want to look at your resume. Do I want to turn that over and really study who you are and see you have the training and what kind of work you've been doing? If not, it goes and then now in casting, when they're going through those thumbs, it's like boop, 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 you know, and you want them to stop at the photo and then check out what you're about, and then you want them to click that you're getting that audition.
I always enjoy a good smirk. Smirks are good in commercials, I think. I mean, it depends on the client, but you know, something that's just appealing and warm, inviting, something that just makes you want to, you know, you're selling something. So something, you know, you'd want to buy something from somebody. Something that pops, but, you know, that can mean so many different things to each agent and to each individual. So something that's just, you know, sometimes it's not the most perfect shot that works. Something that's a little off sometimes works better. So it just depends, but it has to be warm and appealing.
I think one other thing that I look for in a shot is that the actor knows who they are, and so when I look at the shot, I'm like, wow, this actor totally knows what their product is, and it's complete, and it's a great shot, but just that I have confidence in what their product is and that they know what their product is.
Robin, could you also describe that as the world that they might fit into, like when you talk about products? Because different products.
No, like they know who they are as an actor, like what roles they're going to go out for. When that comes across really clear in the photo, I feel really confident and really good about bringing them in.
Excellent. And then that's the moneymaker that will make Stuart the money that he wants.
Yeah, he'll make me money, I'll drop him, and then Stuart will take him.
Exactly.
He'll make me tons of money. He won't confirm one audition. I'll drop him and you'll take him.
Out of here.
It takes more than that, believe me.
So you have a meeting with a client, and they are actually represented by another commercial agency. Does that make you ask a question? Do you care? Does it matter? If they're repped with another commercial agency and they're having a meeting with you, talk to us a little bit about that. Does that even mean anything?
Okay, I'm going to talk about it. I mean, obviously, sometimes people have agents. They need to make a change. That's not a problem. But one of the main things that really turns me off is if you talk negatively about anything or anyone when I'm having a meeting with you. So even if the person's, you could just be, you know, I'm not really getting out as much as I want, but just don't get into any arguments. Don't get into describing anything negative when you come in for an interview. It's just a turnoff. So, yeah.
And all of us pretty much know each other. So I will know, you know, I know what type of business Robin does, and I know that usually her clients don't fit in my particular and in this. But if you're talking bad about Robin, and I happen to be friends with her, you're not going to get in my door, and there's no reason to. So typically, and there has been times when I would call a competitive agent and say, is there, you know, I want you to know that I met with so-and-so, and I'm really interested. Is that going to be an issue? And usually they, you know, if you're friendly enough, they'll say, good.
Don't do it.
No, they'll say, go with my
Worst client
blessing.
ever.
Yeah. But it is a small town, so do watch what you say about your agent.
But why would anybody say anything bad about Robin?
I know.
Yeah.
I missed one audition and she kicked me
She
out.
dropped me.
I didn't confirm it, but yeah, I mean, bad mouthing is not a good sign. I mean, if you're going to bad mouth somebody else, you're going to bad mouth me, and it's just, you know, it just doesn't look good on your character. But you usually can tell when somebody comes in and what their issue is. I always ask, are you currently repped? And, you know, what the issue is, like, why aren't you happy? What's going on? Oh, I've been there 10 years, and then I took, you know, then I had babies, and they came back, and there's a different agent. I mean, that's different than saying, like, oh, I'm not getting out, and, you know, blah, 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 and just bad-mouthing, so.
Please make sure that you're not under contract to that when you're interviewing with somebody. Well, you know, if I'm interested in, oops, that's great, but I forgot to tell you, one, that I had an agent, and two, I'm still under contract to them. And now you've sat in my office, and I've given you my time, and we've now talked about it, and I've made you an offer.
We're going to start jumping into audience questions here. If you do have more questions, Michael will be around to collect those. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize in advance. Sadia, is that everyone? Okay, hey Sadia. I'm going to reverse this question. She's asking what time frame you need actors to be offline. I'm going to ask what time frame do you need actors to be available to be notified about auditions, or what's the time frame that you need?
24/7.
You mean in a day? Yeah, 24/7. We're working 24/7. We're getting appointments all day long. I probably have like 4 right now, or...
No.
No.
No, if it comes in the morning, you should check it when you get up. You should check it midday, all day. Then you check it at night before you go to bed, and you confirm as soon as you possibly can. As we're trying to, the same as you want your audition as soon as we get it, so that you can prep and be ready. We want the same respect back.
And these days, we're emailing and texting. You know, so there's no excuse. You know, it's just a very good system we have now. So. You know, I'll stalk you on every form of social media too, or call you at the gym. I've been known to do that too. If you know, same day and find out you're at the gym, I will have you paged. So we will stalk you down if we need to, but you should always be checking.
And I want to say this another way, because it's not like I want you to be up all night wondering whether you have an audition.
We want to sleep too.
But we were having this discussion in the back that the business has changed in the last 10 to 12 years, in that the internet has made it a whole different business. It used to be same day audition was a very rare thing. But now, because of the speed of the internet, we can get 50 to 100 same-day auditions in the same day. So it's not that I want you to be up all night. I just want you to have this opportunity. If casting director X is saying, we want to see her, I want to be able to reach you and be able to get you there because it's an opportunity. So because the technology has changed, what agents do has changed, and we have to be able to respond and let somebody know whether you can make it or not. So if it's going to be 4 hours till you check your messages or your email or whatever it is, that's going to make it difficult for that process to continue. That's why.
And it's not because we want to go home and we want to wrap up. It's because literally they will email us and say, we need the confirmations. If you have not confirmed by this time, we are canceling your talent. It's not coming from us, and it's not even coming from casting. It's actually coming from the client. They're the ones that are adding roles at the last minute. They're the ones that need these confirmations.
I just had a call right now, right before I got here. A casting director was like, we have a 10:30 time with your client. I need to know if he's confirmed or not, and we have to cancel. And I was like, oh, I'm running into a panel, but my assistant will take care of it. But, we're under the gun all the time to have everything confirmed 5 minutes ago, so.
5 minutes ago, literally. But to really answer your question specifically, I would say you definitely need to be reachable between the hours of 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., like 100% reachable with your iPhone or whatever phone.
Let's talk about confirmations. Is it something that you feel your clients...
I'll drop your ass.
Check, Robin. But do you feel like your clients are on top of it? What's a great confirmation time for you? What's like, oh my gosh, this client took this long and it was, they lost the audition?
We keep track. There are always the problem ones, and you know who you are if you are, because I will always tell you.
Or eventually drop them.
Yeah, or after a while it gets a problem.
Why?
This is a problem. And, then usually there's a change, but sometimes they go back and just like, this isn't working. You got to confirm. It makes our job easier. We're just trying to get everything done. It just makes it much smoother process.
Yeah, and I would add again, this isn't about rules for you and you have to do this, et cetera. It's about how the business has changed. And the reason I think that we gather here is so that you get a greater understanding of how it works. And it used to be that if you were a reputable agent and you had clout, you could communicate with the casting director and say, oh, he'll be there, don't worry about it. Now that it's online, you have to be able to confirm, and if you confirm and the actor doesn't show, it affects your next level. So we just need to be able to tell casting people that you're available or that you're not available, which is why that communication is so important.
And we're not doing, we're not doing this as a hobby. So we expect that our actors are not doing it as a hobby, and that they are being professional and are ready at the go whenever we need them to be, wherever they need to be.
Yeah, and when we're getting the confirmations on LA Casting, we have a huge list that say 50 auditions for the day, and then we have these little green check marks, which is where
I love all green check
where we
marks.
see, yeah, and I have to say, I'm really proud of my actors at my agency. I cannot believe how fast they confirm. I will put out an audition for maybe 5 people, and literally in 2 seconds, almost all of them are confirmed. And then I get those emails from casting, please make sure, I don't have my confirmations, blah, blah, blah. And I look on it and I'm like, of course my lemon lime clients are confirmed. They're so on top of it. But just imagine if we're looking at 50 green check marks and every single time you're the one that doesn't have the check mark, why in the hell do I want to represent you when I have 49 other people that have confirmed their audition within 5 minutes?
So they're terrified, mostly, that they're going to get dropped.
Now let's go to the beach for a beach party.
I know all of you guys are probably confirmed within 2 seconds. It's always the ones
or you're out.
the ones that have 1,000 auditions that don't confirm, but yeah.
James? Is James in the house? James Carnes? You have a James Carnes?
James, where are you, man?
Where are you, James? Maybe this is an internet question.
Okay.
It says LA, so this might be Louisiana. I would like to know how you handle downgrades when it happens for your clients.
Oh, it's so sad, the downgrade letter. Well, at least they get a session fee. I
How do you
always
handle
say,
it?
hey, at least you got a session fee.
Yeah. I mean,
Look
there's
on the
nothing
bright
to
side.
handle. You cry about it. You
on.
feel bad for your client. And you say, we'll book the next one, and the next one will run for 3 years.
You get a downgrade, you email the client, and you move on to the next job.
Yeah.
Right.
It happens, but
Go to the beach.
Back on the board.
you're conflict free.
Do you... of course, not your clients, but maybe other agencies' clients, do you hear them crashing auditions? Talk a little about actors crashing commercial auditions. Do you hear that it happens? Do you hear actors do it? Do you hear casting directors talk about it?
Crashing auditions. There's two kinds of crashing. Hey, you guys in the back row, do you feel like you're a part of this? I can barely see you. You're okay? Okay, good. There's two kinds of crashing. When you show up at a thing and try to sign yourself in and pretend that you were part of the session, that's about the worst thing you can do, because you're taking the casting director's job away from them. Sometimes, though, you're at one audition and across the hall they're auditioning for something else. You certainly have the prerogative to say to the casting director, hey, I'm here for this one, am I right for that? And if they are wise, they will say, are you clear of conflict on this? And who is your agent? And then we can set it up. But there's not a lot of value in crashing, and if your agent is doing his or her job, you were probably submitted for this, and we're doing everything we can to get you in. So you probably don't need to do so much crashing anymore.
And now casting, because of the way that they're formatted with LA Casting, they have all their confirmations, and they can tell immediately you're not on that list, and you don't get the call. They'll say, wait right there. And then we get the call saying, who is Sada, because she's here right now, and she says she's got an appointment, and we didn't give you one. And you're like, hold on a minute. And then we have to call you and embarrass you. And then there are times, though, that at the same time, hey, this is going on across the hall, like he just said. They look like it's my type. I will be happy to place the phone call and say, I have so-and-so on the other side. She says you're seeing this, this character, blah, blah, blah. Can I get her in? Most of the time, I can get them in.
In the breakdowns that you're receiving, is there types that are always prevalent more than others? Do you feel like it's just a smorgasbord? Is terms like ethnically ambiguous popular? Are there popular terms? What are you seeing in the landscape of commercial casting?
Comedy, improv.
And we're seeing less. Remember when everything was aspirational?
Yeah, now it's always my favorite one.
That used to be our favorite. What is aspirational?
Yeah, it's beautiful, but not a model. But then they'll always hire the models. So you never know.
But now it's mostly comedy.
Sorry, I'm just reading some of these. Do you think it's important for an actor to be look for commercial representation before they move on to other representation? Is that should be their first avenue of focus in representation? Do you think commercial is the first place to start for them?
Only 6 of y'all had questions? Really?
I'm getting through more.
Okay. You should get involved in commercials if you believe you can book commercials. Commercials is certainly an easier entry into this business. You all know, those of you who are seeking theatrical representation, there's a whole different level of stuff that has to go on there. Where commercially, if you are a really specific type and you have some fundamental skills, you can audition and perhaps book some things. So I don't think it's a question of one before the other. But the logic is, guys, if you can book commercials today, why wouldn't you? It's passive income. It's money that right now your spot is airing and you're making $117. So why connect the two? If you have the ability to earn money in commercials, do so. If you have the ability to land a theatrical agent and get out and do that, of course you should do it. But commercials are really a little more equal opportunity employer. So yeah, you should do that first.
Since I'm part of both departments, commercially, if you don't have an agent at all, it's a wonderful place to start. And if you book a commercial, it gives you the income not to be so stressed out about money, but oh, you know what? I can't afford to go get a new, perfect theatrical headshot that's going to get me that theatrical agent. And those of you who are non-union at the time when you're entering, and in the youth divisions as well. It's a perfect place for them to get training and for them to, in our young adults and youth division, to get their SAG card and build themselves up to get to the next step.
We have a question here from Melissa that doesn't have a last name, so if there's a Melissa in the house. Hey, Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
If you see Melissa, she's a redhead, and she's been told by agents that redheads are now a conflict and there's too many of them.
Oh, for the love of God. We are literally the redhead agency.
That Wendy's girl.
We have so many redheads, and our redheads do great. I mean, I have other clients that don't have red hair that come in and want to dye their hair red because they think they'll get more auditions.
So
well, guess
just for
what?
the live
It's not
stream-
about blending in with everyone else all the time. That's how I created my agency over 18 years ago. It was not by trying to be like other people. So know who you are, know what your product is, and work it.
For context, just for context for the live stream, is that Melissa's being told to change her red hair to a different color.
So can I comment on that, Melissa? Because it's not anything personal. When an agent or someone gives you an excuse as to why they can't work for you, it's not really about that. It's because they don't see the possibilities of the money. So, and that doesn't mean that you're not money. But no, you don't need to change your hair to something else, etc. It means you need to change your pitch, the way you articulate how money you are, because it means they're not getting it and they're trying to imagine you as something else, and then perhaps you'd be money. But in the long run, someone's going to fall in love with your red hair when they see the money. So don't listen to the excuses. We have too many of your type, you're not experienced enough. Those are just ways we get you to say, okay, and go away. But really what we're saying is there are too many other redheads who will make more money than you will. So, and again, I want to make sure you're clear. That's not me saying that you're not money. It's me saying you haven't found the way to articulate that you're money. And when you find that, they're going to go, oh, your red hair is so unique and different. We'd love to have you.
It's not about the red hair, and he's absolutely right. And my top booker I've represented for 15 years, and she still has red hair, and she's very well known in the city.
Speaking of changing looks, and I've never been comfortable telling an actor what they should do with their hair. It's such a personal decision. It's whatever you feel the most confident. And if you have your red hair, you love your red hair, that's what you should do. Whenever clients ask me, I can give them my opinion, but it's I can usually tell if they're kind of like, oh, I don't know about that. I'm like, well, if you're hesitant about it, don't do it. But it really depends. It's just what you're the most comfortable with.
Art? Is Art out there? Hi, Art. Do we see you? Art way in the back, hand up in the air. I'm gonna. He's in the dark corner. He's in the dark corner.
He's a good-looking man.
Oh.
Okay,
red hair.
Art.
Get out of here.
I'm going to add on to Art's question. He asked how much self-promotion should a representative actor be doing. I'm going to tag onto that. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that the actor can be proactive in doing to help assist you move their commercial career in a forward direction?
All right, I usually have a different opinion on this than most agents. Again, I've said the Beverly Center test is there's 15 people in this town who you need to know and they need to know you. Most agents would say, we'll handle it. But in this day and age where there are so many actors and so many casting directors and so many fast breakdowns, it really helps me if those 15 casting directors know who you are. So self-promotion in terms of making sure those 15 working casting directors are familiar with your brand and that it's a quality brand, I think anything you can do to make that happen is really a positive. Now, people will say, but we don't want you bothering casting directors. Do you really need to be told that? Don't bother people? Don't bother people. But at the same time, I was in casting for 13 years. What was my job? Looking for you. Looking for you. And if I don't know that you exist, I can't bring you in because there's 1,000 not 1,000, 6,000 submissions per job. So if you can find a way to make me familiar with your brand, that's very helpful. So self-promotion is a great thing. And the other part is promotion. I don't just mean postcards and all that stuff. I mean working. Do work. I see theater and stand-up and improv and etc. Be working. If you really want to be in this business, be working. And do you have to work for free sometimes? Yeah, work for free sometimes. Because I'll be in the audience and go, oh my God, I remember that woman because of her red hair. Be working, be promoting, be telling people that you are an artist and you are worthy of being hired. We're not doing you a favor by bringing you in because you have something to offer us. But if you're not continually honing that product and letting people know that it exists, you're not doing your part. And then we as agents can represent that wonderful thing.
And have a good headshot.
Yeah. Don't start asking what you can do outside until you have your basics. Don't start, oh, what can I do? You don't even have a good headshot. You haven't even taken a commercial workshop. Are you taking improv? You know, have these basics in place before you start on all these other things.
Jennifer Meyer, is that how you pronounce your last name? Jennifer Meyer, is she in the house? There you go. Hey, Jennifer. I'm going to keep this question a little general, but we'll get to it. If you have someone submit and you say, please, your office says, please submit again in 6 months, or another agency says that, do you actually mean please resubmit in 6 months?
Sometimes.
I do. I do. I will say I don't have an opening for you at this time. And that would be it. Or if I truly believe that maybe in 6 months I might have an opening, I will say please submit in 6 months.
But it goes back to the obvious thing. Why is she saying she doesn't have an opening for you at this time? Why? Because she doesn't see the money right now. If she saw you as $150,000, she would have an opening for you right now.
But
so
then
what
I would
she's
say
really
I had an opening.
Yeah, so
I
what
would say I had an opening, but I didn't have an opening at that moment, and I knew that somebody was on the rocks on my relationship with them. I only have 150 clients, so I know. And I work a little bit more strategically than that.
Yeah.
So I would say yes. And I keep your picture because in 6 months I may call you.
I'm just adding to that. I'm not refuting what she's saying because I think it's very wise what she's saying. But I think down, yeah, and it is her. But down deep, again, it goes back to the pitch. I think that if she sees the money in you right now, for me, I will find a way to do it. So 6 months is really saying, go back to the drawing board and reconfigure your pitch. And because we see some possibility, we just don't see it fully there yet. And so 6 months is time for you to grow and do something new and reimagine your elevator speech. And that's, I think, the issue. So we'll find room for you 6 months from now if your pitch is better. If you come back with the same thing, we won't.
And if you follow through.
Yeah, I mean, if I see, as Stuart likes to say, money, I will drop everything and get them into the agency. So, I mean, no matter how busy I am, how stressed, I will definitely get them in. If I am not interested in someone, I will not tell them to resubmit in 6 months because I don't want them to waste my time submitting another submission when I don't want them. So I would just tell them, you're not what I'm looking for, punto.
What's the busy time in commercial casting season? What's
I think
Thanksgiving
it
to
depends,
Christmas.
Yeah, I think it depends on the year. You know, like it could be an Olympic year, it could be a World Cup year. You know, soccer players were all the rage last month. So it depends. Obviously, Christmas, Super Bowl seasons, I would say generally the busiest. But we have these weird waves now. You know, especially with cable shows now. It's not like all the shows are on fall time, and the whole TV schedule is all different now. So I would say all throughout the year. It just depends.
But definitely, Thanksgiving to Christmas is gangbusters. I mean, it is out of control. That is the busiest time. So if you're going away for Christmas, plan your flight for the 24th.
Yeah, and agencies have to use up their budget.
Yeah, exactly. And same thing in the beginning of the year. I'm like right in the beginning of January, super, super busy commercially.
Super Bowl time.
JR in house? JR Star? Hey, it's JR. He wants to know how's the landscape in the commercial world for seniors? Are you seeing a thriving landscape for seniors in the commercial world?
I think so. I mean, my little 84-year-old woman was working 2 jobs like a month ago, so we had to figure out how to work that out. But thank God one was a night shoot. So, I mean, I think it's commercials are usually like what is out in the world, and obviously it's a big demographic, so I think they're busy.
I think that there's less in that category, so that those of you who have persevered, you will continue to persevere because a lot of people left town. They gave up, but that same crop is very talented, and so your competition is strong. But when the roles are there for you, I think there's great opportunity. We just booked a 100-year-old.
Oh my God. There was one this week. It was like older guy needs to slide on his knees, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I have that. I mean, I do, but not like 80s.
I think I don't really represent any seniors. We have one senior, and he's really funky. But I think there are more roles because sometimes I'm like so busy and I have so many breakdowns. I'm like, oh my God, all these emails, I'm gonna die. And then like 3 back to back are like all like 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and I'm like, oh thank God, okay, delete, delete, delete. Let me get on to the next one. So I don't know. I think there are maybe more roles.
And we are an aging population, so.
Yeah.
JR, if you're really, my point of view is if I think what you're really asking is, are there a lot of roles for me? So I couldn't in good conscience tell you that there are more opportunities for you than if you were a 25-year-old white man. It's all relative. But is there enough work out there for you to make a wonderful living? Yes, if you're really good at what you do. Are there near as many opportunities for you as there would be for the role I just mentioned? Not even close. Add in the fact that if you're a person of color, that narrows the field even a little more. We got to be realistic. Ad agencies aren't particularly thinking about you day and night, but they do have a place for you and they do have roles for you. So you just got to be really good at what you do. And as Gloria said, the talent pool is less competitive because a lot of people have said, this is too difficult for me. So if you're good at what you do, you got to book the opportunities you get, and there are enough opportunities for you to make a wonderful living in this business.
Emily, do we have Emily? Emily's over there. She has a situation where after an audition, the casting director or even production company contacted her directly and skipped the agents. When that happens, what do you ask your
For what?
Didn't say exactly. So just said after an audition. So.
You mean for a callback? Is it non-union?
She's saying for a
like a lot of the
callback or a booking.
yeah.
I'm reiterating for the
Yeah.
sake of the folks at home who
We are
can't
live
hear her.
streamed.
Yeah. So it was a callback or a booking.
I feel like the reputable cast members we would work with, SAG-wise, union, they would never do that. But I would feel like some of the non-union or print jobs, they're just kind of working on a different, they're not as, I don't know, they don't do the, I don't know how I'm saying that, but, they just kind of do it differently. I don't know, they're not used to the system, so they might just contact you differently, or maybe because it's non-union, they're kind of trying to not deal with an agent because they know we'll just cross everything out. Especially if it's in perpetuity or, you own your right forever. And, obviously as an actor, you're going to be like, all right, sign me up. I want to work. Yeah. So they kind of, for non-union jobs, I feel like that's what they might do because they know they just don't want to deal with all the issues we'll probably give them.
Right, they don't want to deal with the issues. However, we're the ones that got you into the audition, so they kind of need to deal with this. And the thing that you have to do when someone contacts you direct and you have an agent, do not take any information from them. Immediately just say, oh my God, that's great. Can you contact my agent? And they'll pass on the information, because as soon as you take the information, it's a done deal for them. You already took it. You're going to be at the fitting. So immediately have them call the agent, because we have to look over the releases. The releases these days are 100% out of control, selling you for everything, forever, to any company they want. That's a standard release right now, and you definitely need an agent to look that over.
And never, ever, ever please give out your social security number. And when they say, but I have to have it now, I have to have it for the booking, or if, and they have done this to me before where they go, but we couldn't find your agent. We couldn't. My client said, I know you can find her, and this is her number, and she has the phone with her at all times. So don't let them push you. Just say, if you can, or I'll connect you to my agent. And don't let them get away with that, because they're just trying to quickly get their part of their job done. But we're here to protect you.
Last question before we wrap up is going to be what nugget of information, words of wisdom do you want to leave with our audience watching today around the world of commercials? I'll start with Robin and we'll just go down.
Okay. I would like to say, as an actor in the commercial industry, you should, when you're approaching agents, when you're approaching castings, always come across as the giver, as the person that is going to be contributing something to the job at hand.
In the commercial world, remember who the product is and that what you're there for, and that it's different from theatrical. And that a lot of times, some of the things are going to be out of your control when you get to that callback and avail, because it really is ultimately it's not just the director who has to love you. There are a lot more people involved. So just keep working on getting close to that booking and then booking.
I'll say three things. I would love to see each of you get really good at asking for what you deserve. You got to ask for the order. At the same time, know when to not ask for something you're not ready or right for. Know yourself. Know what you can handle and what you cannot handle and what's available to you. But most importantly, you know, you come to things like this and, oh, I'm going to listen to some agents, et cetera, and we go through this career hoping that someone will pick us. I know a lot of you say, God, I hope I get picked. I hope I go to this audition and they pick me. I hope I win. I hope, et cetera. So what I'm going to say is that will happen once you pick yourself. Pick yourself. Decide what it is that you do. You don't have to be, this man doesn't have to be as good an actor as this man here. He just has to know what he does. And he has to really understand what he's bringing to the table. And because of that, choose himself. Bring a confidence, bring a sense of owning, bring a sense of I am worthy to the room. So that when you come to an audition or a meeting, etc., you're not hoping for a favor, you're making an exchange. Don't wait for us to pick you. Pick yourself.
Ditto to all that. I'd say be professional, confident, but never entitled. That is, I would think, is the most big turnoff in an actor, you know, to be entitled. And have fun. We're not doing brain surgery. You know, we're just trying
Tell
to...
that to some casting offices.
Oh my God, trust me. We know some of them do think they're, you know, brain surgeons, but just kidding. We love all the casting directors. But, you know, just, that's all, I guess.
Let's give them a hand and for a big thank you.